This video comes from Brian Holdsworth. The title, Why is Modern Art So Bad? I'm always curious to see what kind of arguments people offer. I think it's interesting to find these kind of commonalities and where people have gone astray in the ideas or the philosophy behind the reasoning. So I want to see what he has to offer, see what's in line with other arguments that I've heard before, and maybe I can also offer some advice here as well.
As a graphic designer, I'm pretty much expected to be a big fan of modern art and design. Virtually everyone in my industry and my field are, whereas I, on the other hand, I struggle to find that same appreciation.
So already this is somewhat interesting because I've never heard the opinion on this subject from a graphic designer. And if he doesn't like modernism, I wonder what type of designs he makes.
Now, because I'm so drawn to the artistic accomplishments of previous generations, it shouldn't surprise you that I often try to draw inspiration from those accomplishments in my own trade as a graphic designer. But in my experience, doing so often produces work that just feels kind of cheesy, and I've always struggled to figure out why that is.
A lot of times, people who have some type of appreciation for the classical will still be muddied by all of the things around them and the modern values, which means that they're not truly going after it. They're still arguably on the modernist side. So that right there, I think, is one of the major reasons that a lot of people can probably relate to this. They feel that they're doing something and it's a little bit cheesy. The other problem is also that they've heard that before. They've been exposed to that. You know, it's supposed to be a bad thing to copy the masters. And just all of this negativity towards them, I guess that's rooted in the modernist philosophy and this idea of the zeitgeist, or following the trends of the time. But you kind of have to understand the bigger picture and the real philosophy behind it to catch yourself when you might be going into a slightly modernist direction.
I've come to realize what is fundamental to true and good art that is so lacking in modern conventions. Let me give you an example. I love beautifully designed calligraphy. It's just so impressive to me to think that someone could sit down and write out something like those beautifully illuminated texts of the Middle Ages. As a graphic designer in the digital age, I don't need to be able to pick up a pen or a brush and create something like that. I can just grab a cool font and be on my way. But in my experience of trying to do that, it never comes out with that same quality as it would if it had been done by scratch. So what's missing?
It's missing the love. You're not putting in the sweat and the hours and all of the grueling process.
The answer that came to me was that one instance inspires us and the other does not. When you watch somebody create a visual like that by hand, you're witnessing the culmination of what it takes to master something. You're witnessing human excellence, and when you do, it inspires you.
Yeah, that's a really good point right there. I mean, appreciating anybody doing something that you understand has taken a lot of practice, a lot of skill, a lot of hard work, a huge amount of dedication. That's really powerful, and you can understand just how far away you are from being able to do that yourself, at least to a certain degree. And it really makes it more powerful. Plus, you're going to achieve something which you just don't get by having all the immediacy of the modern world. Doing something that could have been made by a child, of course, is not going to feel like it has that same authenticity, which is very ironic because a lot of people in the modern art world talk about self-expression and how authentic they are, that they're really putting themselves into it. But you could never understand that. It's all about the ego in the modern art world. You completely get absorbed with yourself in this idea of the thing that you made, but you haven't actually done anything of quality or substance. There's nothing truly impressive there. But if you make something that takes many hours and a lot of skill behind it, like a copy of a masterwork, people will say that that is not authentic, or that that's uninspired, and that it takes no effort. I guess what I'm trying to get at is that in modern art, pretty much everything is the exact opposite of what people say that it is. Like if they say that it's inspired and it's self-expression and it's authentic or original, That's how you know you're not going to understand it, you're not going to be inspired by it, and there's going to be 1,000 other modern art paintings that are going to look pretty much just like that. There's nothing distinguishable that actually separates it as original. So if you just pay attention and you look out for that, you'll see it all over.
It inspires us. That sense of inspiration is the key ingredient that I think is missing from the philosophy that underpins modernism and the artistic movements that it inspired. The key ingredient that modernism and postmodernism seem to emphasize is self-expression.
Yes, thank you.
True art should amaze us, it should impress us, and it should inspire us. It should make us wonder how another human being, made up of the same ingredients as you and I, could produce something so incredible. And then it should motivate us to realize that if we combine the same kinds of decisions as them, maybe we can produce something amazing too.
Yes, that's a great way to end the video. That was uplifting in itself. If you're interested in learning about the philosophy, if you want to know how you actually do that, feel free to join me on Patreon. I talk so much about the philosophy and where these actual roots and foundations are that inspired the Renaissance. So if you want to make great paintings, truly great paintings, or you want to improve your craft, I cover everything you need to know on my Patreon. Otherwise, if you have any videos you'd like me to react to, any videos you'd like me to make or to demonstrate something, then feel free to leave that in the comments. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.